I always believed the worst kind of betrayal came from lies told in the present. But I was wrong. The most painful betrayal comes from the past, the one you never knew existed until it's too late. My husband and I had been together for nearly a decade. He was quiet, thoughtful, the kind of man who never lost his temper and never raised his voice. People admired him for his calmness. I admired him for his steadiness. With him, I felt safe. Or at least, I thought I was safe. One rainy afternoon, while cleaning out the attic, I stumbled across a box. Nothing special, just an old wooden chest shoved into a corner, covered in dust. But when I opened it, I realized it wasn't forgotten storage. It was a life I never knew. Inside were letters, photographs, documents. All carefully preserved, hidden away. At first, it looked like ordinary nostalgia, old friends, travels, moments from before I knew him. But as I dug deeper, the pieces didn't fit. There were photos of him with a woman I had never seen before. Smiling. Holding hands. Looking at her with the same warmth he once looked at me. My chest tightened as I kept going. Plane tickets. Receipts. A marriage certificate. My husband had been married before. Not just a relationship. A marriage. A life. And he had never told me. I sat there for hours, surrounded by fragments of a story I wasn't part of. My hands trembled as I tried to piece it together. Who was she? What happened to her? Why had he hidden it so carefully? That evening, I confronted him. I placed one of the photos on the table, just as he walked in. His face drained of color. He sat down slowly, staring at the picture as if it were a ghost. And maybe it was. He didn't deny it. He didn't even try. Instead, he whispered her name. A name I'd never heard before, but one that clearly still lived inside him. The truth unraveled in fragments. She had been his first wife. They had married young, too young. They had built dreams together, only for tragedy to strike. She died suddenly, an accident. The grief was unbearable. And when he met me years later, he chose silence. He chose to bury that chapter deep in the attic, as if not speaking her name would erase her existence. But grief doesn't disappear. It lingers. And suddenly, I realized the distance I had been feeling in our marriage wasn't just stress or routine. It was her. The memory of her. The shadow of a love he lost but never let go. I wanted to scream, to tell him he had betrayed me by hiding her. But all I could do was sit in silence, staring at a man who belonged to two lives, hers and mine. And maybe he always would. For days, we barely spoke. I couldn't decide which hurt more, the fact that he had loved someone before me, or the fact that he had hidden it. Part of me wanted to forgive him, to understand that his silence came from pain, not malice. But another part of me wondered if I was nothing more than a replacement. One night, I returned to the attic. I opened the box again, searching for answers. At the bottom, I found one last envelope, sealed but never opened. My hands shook as I tore it open. Inside was a letter addressed to him, from her. Her words were soft, filled with love, with promises of a future they never got to have. And at the very end, she wrote, "If anything ever happens to me, promise me you'll find happiness again. Promise me you won't let my shadow haunt your life." Tears blurred my vision as I realized, he had broken that promise. By keeping her hidden, by burying her memory in silence, he had chained himself to her ghost. And in doing so, he had chained me too. That night, I placed the letter on his pillow. No anger, no accusations, just her words. When he read it, I saw something change in him. His shoulders shook, his eyes filled, and for the first time, he let the grief spill out. We didn't fix everything in that moment. Some wounds run too deep. But we finally spoke, not about betrayal, not about lies, but about love, loss, and the silence that nearly destroyed us. I don't know where our marriage will go from here. But I know one thing, the past always finds its way back. You can hide it in boxes, bury it in silence, but one day, it will surface. And when it does, you'll have to decide if love is strong enough to face it. Because the secrets we bury don't just belong to us. They belong to the ones who love us too. And sometimes, the box you were never supposed to open holds the truth you needed to see.